Welcome back to another episode of
HR Won't Like This.
The podcast where we talk about everything you're not supposed to say at work. But we're here
We still have jobs.
and luckily we still have jobs.
Yeah. Still.
Alhamdulillah.
So, welcome back to another segment of HR Town Hall. So, as our previous sessions and segments, this is where we invite youngish, bold and mature professionals in their own respective fields. And, they can share some unhinged stories or takes that they've experienced throughout the course of their career.
And speaking of young-ish professionals. Oh, I'm so scared. Today, fortunately,
We have a very special guest.
who is our managing director, founder.
Basically, I pay for all of this bullshit.
Oh,
now.
yeah.
Yes, the one who pays for
The
all
one
of
who
this.
pays for everything.
Yeah.
And also the HR of our company, Jose Raymond.
Hello, I am Jose, and I'm the one who basically make sure that they get paid every month, and I actually get them to actually pay them actually to do all this stuff. That's crazy.
Thank you. Thank you for giving us a platform where
Do they know how this thing got started?
they do.
They do.
How?
During our first episode,
During our first
where
episode.
you mentioned the fact that the two of us cannot stop talking, and you're
So
like,
we just can't stop.
So he's like, why don't you just, use that skill and monetize it? So this
There's
is
nothing to monetize, okay? Monetize.
Not
The
yet.
monetize is coming from my pocket, okay? Just so you know. Yeah.
by the way, for all you guys, this is part one of a two-parter video with
Yeah.
our boss.
So this
for
is a
today.
special segment, a special segment.
And
that
only
we-
because I've been here for what? 8 days, 9 days.
Yeah, he's been here
Yeah.
for 9 days, close to 10. And yeah, we've had a crazy weeks actually. Yeah.
Yeah, so let's start the ball rolling.
Whose
right?
ball? His,
Eh?
Today, our topic, we are going to talk, can we actually be friends with our boss?
Yeah, the age-old question, where do you draw the line between work relationship and also personal relationship?
Yeah. So, have you ever had like a work friend that suddenly acted weird because you're like very friendly with them, but then you're still working with them?
Tanya lah.
Oh,
I shall see myself.
hey, come back. I need my partner
Basically,
here.
almost every other day, right? Just like routine relationship between me and Daniel. Right?
Okay, but the 9 to 6, I think when it's as much as we can lah. Work
Working
is-
hours,
yeah.
lah. But
But
off working hours.
Yeah, sometimes
Off working hours.
sometimes he disturbs me on his call, on his way back from Singapore,
Yeah. Sometimes I do that. Correct.
asking love relationship advice. Like, what do I do?
What to do with this fella? How? What do I do with this? Or sometimes I think randomly call the chat group.
Oh yeah, he does that.
He
all
does
the
that all the
time.
time, actually.
Not all the time. Rubbish. I think I've only done that like 3 times. I think.
Yeah, but he.
Because that's also urgent because I need to have like a quick discussion with all the 5 or 6 of you.
That's true.
That's
right?
true.
So I don't call you and say, hey, what are you eating today? I don't do that. Maybe I'll call him and ask him because I'm checking on him. Because he's like the
The black sheep of the company.
no, not that.
Are you sure? I feel like I'm the black sheep
No,
of the
you're
company.
not. You're not the black sheep of the company at all.
Oh.
The one fellow who's very unpredictable right now is Daniel. So once in a while, I got to call him and check on him. It's like, hello,
Are you alive?
are you alive? Do you know why? Do you want to know why I do that? Okay, well, basically, one day in the early morning, I received a message on my WhatsApp saying, "Boss, something's happening to me." I'm like, okay, all right.
Something was
Something
happening.
happened to me. Maybe it was like morning wood. I don't know.
Oh, well,
Right. So then, next thing I know is
hate yourself.
next thing I know, boss, I think I've been kidnapped.
Oh my god.
Okay,
Are we gonna open that can of worms now?
And then I'm freaking myself. He's in Malaysia, I'm in Singapore. Why is he calling me? Call the police lah.
At that point, right, you just don't know what to do.
Don't know what to do.
So
Call the
you're just-
police.
So you're just in
Call
your
the
head
police.
spiraling. Plus, okay, another
Spiraling.
thing, my battery was 1% at that point. So it was either I call, either I inform someone of my whereabouts or risking calling the police. I did the one
The
unthinkable.
first one.
Yeah, the road less travel.
Yeah, so it's become like a personal responsibility to check on this fellow once in a while to make sure that he's alive. To make sure that he's not like jumped off a cliff. In inverted commas. Not literally, I hope. Yeah. So yeah, so no, but your question, can work colleagues be friends? Actually, I don't know. So I've got one good example. I think you all know him. His name is Damon. And I've known him since 2007 when both of us were actually in a government agency together, working together. And strangely, he joined that agency almost at very similar times, almost. So we were both like the newbies in this organization. And on my first day, well, my background is I was a journalist covering sports and then entering the sports government agency. Literally on the 1 week, I was actually like writing something negative about them. And then the very next week, I'm actually joined that organization. So I was like almost a persona non grata in that organization in my first couple of days. So this guy, Damon, was the only one, the first one who actually comes up to me and says, oh, first day. First day. Who?
Was that also his first day?
No, it was his first couple of days, if I recall.
Oh.
Then, so from there, and you can see right now, right? I mean, we are still friends and we still work together. So can it actually happen? I think very rarely, I guess. It happens, but it is not easy to find working colleagues who can end up becoming friends. But when you do, it's magical because you know what? Coming to work, it'll be like fun. Because you've got your vibe to hang out with. You have people around you who like almost similar or similar in thought or at least similar in being able to work together effectively, right? So I think that is the long answer to a very short question. But I don't think there's any formula where you will be able to find that.
Yeah.
It's just when you click, you just click. You know?
Yeah.
And sometimes you got to recognize it, and it's okay that, after work, you just want to go into your own thing and, not be able to communicate with the work colleagues. And that's fine. Which is why my main star, like you guys know, is I don't disturb y'all from certain hours after work and before work. And everything else is like it's either scheduled or unless it's urgent.
Yeah.
Right? So I do recognize that all of us have got different parts of our lives to go manage and you got your own friends. And it's okay if you guys want to go and hang out, right? So
let's give it a bit of the context. Me and Jose, we have a bit of a rough patch at one point, right? But then we are becoming... Oh, you eating?
Biting the hexa.
Wow.
Sorry, let me bite it and swallow it.
Hey, wait. Don't choke.
Okay, all good.
So like we had like quite a rough patch at one point, right? How do you think that we came out now being like a bit closer than we were before?
I think it's down to understanding strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
And being able to navigate that and finding ways in which you'll be able to be utilized to your strengths. And that's actually the need of every leader of any organization or whatever, right? To understand what value can someone bring to the table.
Yeah.
So that's basically it, right? Knowing that when you find that mix or when you find that rhythm and there's a need, and it's not like as though I just created just shove you into a spot and expect that you're going to be able to do it. It's really understanding the person's skill sets, right? And so it's a little bit of a delicate balance. And once you reach that, in future when you guys become leaders, then you'll also know that something is a skill which you'll also need to develop over time, right? So that's my answer to you.
Wow, it's so serious, huh?
Yeah, I mean, this is not like the usual HR like this
You asked a
episode.
serious question.
I thought you were gonna make jokes.
What joke you made of me? You asked a question. Why it's a serious question? What?
I thought you were just gonna make
What do you mean
jokes.
say like you're freaking dyslexic?
By the way, this is what it's like. I mean, we don't have an office, but imagine if we meet.
Hey, there'll be an office on 1st of August.
Oh,
onwards,
yes.
okay? And we do have a co-working space.
Yes.
Don't talk rubbish.
Okay. But just to get a glimpse into our daily lives, this is basically the conversations that happens on a daily basis. But it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah,
It's,
I'm the dyslexic in the group.
Yep.
yeah, she cannot read, she cannot write.
She
but
can't read. No, she can read. She just cannot spell.
this is an issue. Not issue lah, but
It is an issue. Don't say it's not an issue. You are the person who was like, why do you do this all the time? Why?
I don't know how you read sign. I don't know how you read signs. Or when you enter, like when you got to fill out forms to enter like countries.
Oh,
and all that,
usually it would take me like 3 tries to ensure that it's okay.
there's a funny story when we first reached in Singapore back in November, right? We had to fill in the ICA thing.
Oh.
And once you fill that in, your immigration goes through smoothly, right?
Yes.
I already passed the gate. And this woman was just like at the
You
gate.
still hadn't done it yet.
It's not like she didn't.
You didn't do the submission.
No, we did.
And
I
then-
did. It's just the fact that
Wrong passport number.
Yeah.
You got your. Sari said she's dyslexic.
She entered the wrong passport
And it took me some time to realize she's actually dyslexic. I think he's undiagnosed.
That's
It
why.
is undiagnosed.
We need to go to
Boss, wellness check.
Wellness
For everybody.
Wellness check. Wellness check. Why not you just go in the mirror and look at yourself, ask yourself, am I okay? Am I okay?
Ooh, My Chemical Romance is coming.
To Singapore, yeah. Oh,
Malaysia
Malaysia
also.
also.
Can
Next
that be
year.
wellness?
That could be.
Can that be wellness?
can after I'll deduct from your salary. lah. Book.
But for a moment, it's like, healing your inner child.
Yeah.
Like screaming so
Yeah.
loud.
This morning, me, Julia, Atika was like, they're selling the tickets this Friday.
This Friday?
Yes.
In Malaysia or in Singapore?
Both. The whole Asian country that they are selling this Friday. And
Can
told them-
I redirect this?
Wait.
And Atika is also a fan.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I told Atika, I'm gonna
She's gonna
ask
take
for
AL.
OIL to buy the
buy the
tickets
ticket.
On Friday.
on Friday.
Let me check the schedule. What's happening? I'll check now.
I was like, can I ask an OIL for Friday? And Atika's like, everybody's gonna take AL the next day after the concert. And I was like, nobody can do that, bro. Speaking of concert, how many concerts have you been? The recent one that you went to. Okay,
Oh, so-
Jose
so-
went to Beyonce concert, okay?
Yeah.
Please tell us, you went during a week work,
During work week, yeah.
please.
Yeah. But work week was, I think, when the concert was happening in that time, you guys were all asleep.
Yeah
It was-
lah.
It was at 8 p.m.
It was on a Thursday, I think.
Yeah, it was
if I
8 p.m. 8 p.m.
It
local
was the day
time.
when you went missing.
No. It was the day before. She
Yeah
went
lah.
missing the day before.
But she went missing like on that day, so it was just like
Yeah. She was missing the day before.
this guy is in a boulangerie somewhere in Paris. It's like, well, you know what happened to IB?
Okay, sometimes we have to give credit to where credits is due.
Yeah.
Our boss, Jose Raymond,
Handles a
Our
lot
boss,
of bullshit from people.
Jose Raymond, no, not handle a lot of bullshit from people, handle a lot of bullshit for the two of us.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yes, we are the two who is like, quote unquote, the first two who started with him.
The first two will also will probably put an end to him if like, we continue doing things like this. So we need to get our shit together.
He's looking at us like,
You want me to tell what you did? Is it? As in like you want me?
it's already
it's
on.
already
Oh yeah, correct.
Yes,
Yeah, correct.
one-
About the scam, right?
Yes, it's
I
already
cannot
there.
imagine how is it you don't even know that somebody is calling you from Sabah and saying, "Oh, this is Sabah police." Hey, why would Sabah police call you? Bukit Aman will call you if there's a scam happening here.
Yeah, that's
and I don't even live in Malaysia for me to know that. Oh my god.
I was just worried that I'm gonna find her body in a drum somewhere.
You always have this kind of shit morbid thoughts.
What is it? I mean,
Okay.
knowing her, she has the tendencies to do those kind of things, or either jump from a building.
You know what? Don't say that.
No,
Later
I-
Jose be like, what the heck?
No. For me, I thought her car, because there's a gas tank in the boot. Amy's car has got a gas tank in the boot, and we suspect she brings it around so that she can actually just stop anywhere and eat noodles along the street.
If you guys want to see the full episode, please click here where I got scammed.
Yeah, when she got scammed. Let's do the discussion back. Okay, we have one question that I would ask. Right, like
What? I've got 10 to ask you.
I know.
For today. Yeah.
Like with your experience being a director of many organizations, do you know when your staff acts, a little bit differently around you, and do you notice it?
Of course.
And-
You should know the answer, what?
Yeah lah. I mean,
I'm very
I mean,
perceptive that way.
We want from you.
yeah,
The answer from you.
Like when let's say
First and foremost, let's not go into like our colleagues.
yeah.
No.
But am I perceptive enough to know when that we've got clients who are having something with each other?
Oh,
Am I perceptive enough to even like notice it when no one else notices it? Right?
Yeah.
Because I work with all of you almost on a daily basis, and because I work with hundreds and hundreds of people in the past. And in my life as a journalist, I've also met thousands of people along the way. I think I will have a very strong judge of character. I will know when someone is either having issues or someone is having work-related pains. Or as we also know when someone is actually not putting in 100% into the work and is also distracted. I think we have come to a point where we all can see that I'm pretty decently perceptive when it comes down to that. So what does that do? How does it help me? Is I will always be able to quickly adapt. So adaptability in what we do is actually very critical, and adaptability is important in every aspect of your life. So if you kind of like, if you're not adaptable, how do you survive a ever-changing world out there?
Well, he's pretty adaptable with a lot of the nonsense that. Not just the two of us.
She's saying it, not me.
Not just the two of us.
The two of us. We are also adapting to his craziness.
Correct.
Yeah.
There were one time when we went to Raup to see one of our friends, Atika there.
Yeah, Daniel called her a lizard.
No, it was her. She was the one who called
No,
it.
the lizard was running, the monitor lizard was running past. You say, hey, Atika. The video
No, you know what I was doing?
evidence.
I was echoing what Aimi said, but she didn't put what she said in the recording. It was her, okay? I would like to set the record straight here.
And sometimes, I mean, for me, having a boss as a friend, it's a bit of like a double-edged sword because we are your essentially
subordinates lah.
your
Nonsense. I always say we
subordinates.
are co-workers.
Yeah, that's true.
Because if one of you is not around, I have to end up doing the work. Like when you don't turn up for meetings at night, to
Oh,
our
yeah.
global calls, I got to go into the presentation.
But do you have
He
to
did not attend the
I
call.
forgot about the call literally.
I called him. Hey, Daniel, don't forget 5 minutes time. I got a call. Oh, I forgot. I'm
forgot.
eating dinner.
Yeah.
I'm not. He didn't attend the call.
I forgot literally. I forgot it was her.
So here's the thing, right? So if the relationship is only boss and subordinate, he would have been fired. Right?
Yeah, that's
That's
true.
true.
Right? So I'm not a boss subordinate. This is not a boss subordinate relationship. As much as possible, it's a co-working relationship.
But that is very true. I feel like with the fiasco that I put him on because I
There was
went
no
missing.
fiasco, yeah, that was your fiasco. Yeah, correct. You
I went missing for
Nobody knows
6
where the hell you
hours
are.
in a car.
Yeah.
With no aircon.
With no aircon. I felt, honestly, okay, now giving that we have a bit more time, I felt like you were gonna fire me tomorrow, the next day.
Why would I do that?
Because I imagine you're working in a corporate and then you're just missing for 6 hours with no notice. Wouldn't the HR be like, you're wasting?
Where the were you? Yeah.
Yeah, you're wasting time, company time, for something.
No, but that wouldn't be the first course of action. First course of action would be like, I just dock a day's salary. There are always alternatives.
Yeah, that's true. But knowing that my past with you, that's why I was like, am I going to get fired? I told him, like, am I going to get fired by Jose? And he's like, no lah.
No, since the start of this year, there's been no issues with you because you found a new niche for you to excel in. What?
Thank you, Jose Raymond. Oh, another thing that we like to do to our boss is like teasing him, like Mr. Raymond,
Mr. Ramon.
Mr. Ramon,
Joes.
Jose, Jose.
Yeah, I gotta keep up with all of that, but it's fine.
I like how he's trying to keep up with us with our stickers in our
Oh
group.
yeah.
So Jose, is there anything like you wanna, give advice to people out there and telling them like, boss can be friends with their coworkers and colleagues?
There is a message, right, which I think, even though I did not plan for this question, but I can tell you that it's something which I always try to share with everybody. We must probably get to a point where we recognize that each of us have got a certain talent, and that means you're able to stand on your own 2 feet without having to rely on a boss. That means you rely on yourself. That basically means you hone your entrepreneurship skills. You learn that there's something out there which you can do, and you build that from there. So if it's a podcast, then you build that podcast and you make sure that it survives and you monetize from it. So you earn and you stand on your own 2 feet. Then that helps you be independent of anyone, independent of any idiosyncrasies which anyone puts you through. So because if you constantly just rely on someone else to pay a salary, right, then you're always not going to be able to be yourself because you have got to fit in somewhere. So you recognize, like for us, I've tried to give you all a space where all of you can actually be yourself. Daniel can be crazy. You can be dyslexic. Miguel can go into his creative streak at night. Miguel, Martin can swim for the country. Julia can buy labubus. Right?
Shots fired.
And so there's that space where all of you can do what you want to do, right? And for me, I can continue being eccentric and create stuff which essentially, builds value for all of us. So, but the advice actually would be, don't be in a relationship where you're just a worker all your life. Be in a relationship where you become the boss at some point. And actually that journey should start sooner rather than later. So if there's one thing I could tell my younger self would be, stand on your own 2 feet, do not rely on anyone, keep going on your own, be your own boss right from the start. And that's how, look, small businesses are the engine of any economy. Whether it's a mom and pop shop, whether it's a franchise business, whether it's something you build on your own, that's what I wish I could have done. So don't have to rely on a boss, rely on yourself.
Slay.
That's a very good advice, actually. Because I think now it's, compared to back then, right, it's a lot easier to find resources on how to stand on your own 2 feet. But what would you say to like the people who maybe they lack the courage, or maybe they are just finding that right moment but not finding that, but they haven't found it yet?
If you don't take that plunge early, you never will. And it's always better to have, always better start earlier. Because when you start earlier, you're gonna have the benefit of failing and starting all over again. And let me tell you, actually, a lot easier to restart when you fail if you're in Malaysia. I think in Singapore it's a lot harsher than that. Because cost of living, the amount of setting up to do businesses, that safety net, I think, is a lot easier for you to get by in Malaysia because the cost of living is a lot lower. In Singapore, I think the reason why there are a lot less entrepreneurship, not a lot less compared to whether it's Malaysia, or whether or not it's like the US or any other developed country or developing countries, is because the cost of living is very high. It's very hard to get started, and then you get eaten up by the bigger boys, right? So I think that's why it's very difficult to get going. So, but to answer your question, sooner rather than later is always better because you have the benefit of changing along the way, changing on the run. If you see something you need to change, you change it, and you have the benefit of time to see what kind of results you get. Looking at us as an example, last year was a version 2.0 when SW Strategies version 2.0 started last 2024 February. Right? January was me basically trying to piece everything together. February we started. It was just you, me, and Danielle, three of us, right?
Gerard also.
And Gerard. And look at where we are now in like 16 months.
Yeah.
Right?
So fast.
And not just that part of our work. Today we have our own podcast, which is the two of you. We've also got podcasts which we are taking over. We've got an asset called TMSG, which it's become so wild. And then now we're talking about our social impact arm, right? So look at what we've done in like 15, 16 months. So essentially it's a lot of thinking, a lot of trying to figure out what's next, trying to figure out where we can actually go and create value. Yeah. So think about it in your own lives, right? That's what you guys need to be doing for yourselves, and actually all of our listeners as well. That's how you need to build value for yourselves.
Wow.
I'll cry.
The next thing I want to do is to open a laundromat.
Lucrative money-making business,
Really?
actually. Yeah, laundromat.
No, not in Malaysia yet.
Hey, Malaysia is.
There's like, you can see like 5, 6, 7 different laundromats. It's always filled until like 3 a.m.
Me, I'm the one of the people who goes to self-serving.
Her and my
laundromat.
brother will always be there, even though we have washing machines. I have no idea why.
Why? Yeah.
Because it's just, I think,
Convenient.
convenience, and they can just like dry it right then and there. For lazy people like her,
Hey, I'm not lazy. I just don't have a washing machine at home. Okay.
So the idea would be laundromat by day, at night it becomes a comedy club.
Yeah, actually, if you iron it out properly, it could
like there's a hidden door to a comedy
like a
club.
speakeasy kind of like laundromat. So what the hell?
Or we go and buy out Paul's Family's Cafe and turn it into a laundromat. Turn the cafe into a laundromat and comedy club.
Wait.
Then Miguel can perform there.
Sorry, Song Street Cafe is not sponsoring this. We're just saying Song Street Cafe because your support Song Street works with us, okay?
Yeah. We just found out like the people that we are working with come from very diverse backgrounds also. Which is cool.
We have a teacher,
Who?
Atika.
Former teacher.
She also used to be a teacher.
Yeah, she used to be a teacher. You don't know, man. She was an English teacher in a secondary school.
Yes, at one point in her life. Before she became an almost doctor,
Yeah.
and now she's a part of our team.
Amazing.
And that's a wrap for part 1 of our spicy little HR town hall with our boss,
Jose Raymond.
Jose Raymond. But don't worry. We
Yeah,
still have another episode. Again, this is part 1. We have another episode with him that will be dropped next week.
So yeah, this has been HR Won't Like This, and this podcast was brought to you by SW Strategies, a regional public affairs and public relations firm with presence across Southeast Asia.
In the meantime, while you wait for the next part to come, please follow us on our socials and please listen to us in Spotify and also watch our YouTube and also subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Hit the notification bell, do whatever it is that you need to do. And
with
we'll
that,
see you on the next week. Bye.